For me, a build is definitely something that if you put the work and effort into it, not just Googling, okay, let me get a catback for this and let me get a cold air intake.
Go to a lot of car events, and when you see Buddy open up the hood and everybody says, oh, yeah. Like, you know a build when you see it.
People don't really understand, like, these EVs out here are very quick. You have instant torque, and they're keeping up. The first 30 miles per hour, we're keeping up with whatever vehicle's out there.
Don't you ever, fellas, I'm talking to you, don't you ever wear a shirt that matches your car. That's corny. Are we gonna make funny? I am. But anyway, come on now.
Fashion statement.
What's up, guys? My name is Preston, and today we are here with Street Cars One-on-One for the new podcast that is called Street Cars Talk. And this podcast is new. This is brand new. This is going to be the coolest thing that you guys have seen all day, probably for the rest of your lives. Every street car person out there, every motorcycle person, every truck person out there, just car enthusiasts, this podcast is for you. Again, my name is Preston. I'm here. I host AutoNatics podcast, and you are, again, watching Street Car Talk. And I have beside me today special guests. If you don't mind, who are you?
My name is Coven. I'm with Street Scene Charlotte. We do car shows all around the Charlotte metro area. Plus, we also post every event that happens on the weekends over here. So that way everyone knows what's going on.
All right. Thank you so much, Preston. Your buddy CJ here from Hot Seat Automotive Podcast, among other things. Listen, guys, CJ Dietzman, lifelong car guy, automotive enthusiast, among other things. When I'm not doing car stuff, I'm into cybersecurity, business process. But listen, when I'm having fun, it's usually with something with four wheels and an engine.
Absolutely. There you go, guys. Coven and CJ, we got the two coolest guys here we can ever have for the first podcast. But what makes this podcast special, because this isn't a normal podcast. This podcast is ran by you. This is a podcast for the people, by the people. So what that means is that this podcast is ran by questions that you all submit on Facebook or on Reddit, whichever one. And the questions that you submit are the questions that we talk about here. So with that being said, it's as popular as you guys want to make it. So if you want your question answered, head over to Street Cars One-on-One, send a question either on Facebook, either on Reddit, whichever one, find it on Instagram, ask a question, send a question in, get your question shouted out. So with that said, let's hop into this first question. All right, who is our first question from? Let's see. Interesting name here. TP Wally 1211. First question is, what is the definition of a street car? And how we're going to do this is it's an open conversation. So guys, feel free to jump in. Whoever want to take this question first, start it off, and let's just get into the conversation. What is the definition of a street car?
Well, listen, age before beauty. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, let's get into it. For me, the street car, first things first. We're talking about a modded performance car ready for the quarter mile, but it's got to be streetable.
Okay.
You know,
so wait, you mean like insurance streetable, or what do you mean by streetable?
Define streetable.
Exactly.
Legal streetable.
Okay.
Listen, what I love, and I just recently went to an event, a shootout event, not that kind of shootout event, but, you know, drag racing event for street cars. And a lot of these guys daily their cars. Now, not everybody has to daily, you know, something that the enthusiast, the driver actually puts on the street, hopefully legally, but that's not just a trailer queen. Okay. With the big motorhome tone it, you know? This is a car that, listen, can be dailied or can be driven, but also he go on the quarter mile, he gonna run.
So if I have a 2,000 horsepower car and I take it out on the road once every 3 months, it's still a street car?
See, that to me, listen, technicality, you know, semantics, for me, that would probably not be. Like when I'm thinking street car, the guy who's the weekend hobbyist, he works a regular job.
Yep.
But at nights, he's out there, a couple beers, he's wrenching on the car, and then he takes it to the strip. That, to me, is the essence of a street car.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And again, you have to be able to insure it, have to be registered, and you have to legally be driving on the street, and that's what makes it a street car.
Which also means it'd have to be state inspected.
That, well, I don't know. Out in my
yeah, I will say. Oh, well, South Carolina a little bit different.
Right.
South Carolina, you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
But at least for North Carolina standards, if it's got a tag on it, it's gotta have an inspection. So I mean, you could always get around those sort of things, and there are plenty of people that'll do it down the street for $50 more. For me, I'd say I'm similar along that case. I feel like it's got to be streetable. It's got to be something where it's not taken out, you know, ever so well, it can be taken out ever so often, but it can't be. It always sits in the garage, or it never goes anywhere except the one track day out of 3 months out of the year. You know.
What about once a month? Because mine come out once a month. Does that mean it's a street car? It got a tag on it.
It's got a tag on it.
The tag does say Will Gap.
It says
So people behind me, Will Gap. I just want you to know that.
I mean, I could say, okay, that makes a little bit of something. If it's going, how far can you take it?
As far as I want. I just
But then I might
take that far. I'll take it on about a 20 to 30-minute drive because it's such a beast to drive. I don't like taking it far. That clutch is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I don't really take it far.
All right, can I throw something out there?
Absolutely.
And you're kind of answering the question for me, Preston. If she's that rough and she's that harsh, maybe she's not a street car. Here's the other thing. You ready? And you guys tell me if you agree with this kind of a water test. Roll cage?
No roll cage.
Okay.
And that's not a street car.
She got a full roll cage. I agree with you. She don't have a passenger seat. You rip the rear seat out. That's not a street car.
Well, I don't have rear seats, but I do have a driver and a passenger seat. I took out the rear seats to put a stabilization bar in the back.
I'd say if you have that, that'll qualify.
It's hooked up to the bar. As well. So,
what most people do, even guys in the other communities like stance community and stuff like that, they'll do that sort of thing. So it makes sense. But yeah, full roll cage, I'd say no. I mean, at that point, I mean,
it's a race car at that point.
Yeah, I know a lot of people with no AC and no power steering, but
I don't have AC or power steering, but I had to take it off.
Yeah,
because of the mods that I have. It's fully built, so there's things that had to come off of it.
But once you add that full roll cage in and you go full race car mode, there's nothing I could say that's on like that's streetable, right? You could have a tag and you could get it inspected, but if it's that harsh to drive, like CJ was saying, I mean, I would.
So I'm on the line. I'm teetering the line.
Yeah, you're on the line.
You're right.
You're on the line. It makes it to Cars and Coffee. You're on the line. You're on the line.
I have been in Cars and Coffee before.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. All right. Next question. All right, who we got next? Let's see. Pearl's Daddy, 007. All right, Pearl's Daddy.
I don't know about that one.
What do you see different today in the car scene compared to, say, 2020? And if negative, what do you feel is missing in the car scene today?
Ooh.
Oh, man. The car scene today, I'm taking this one first. The car scene today is absolutely wild. And when I think of the car scene, I think of cars at an intersection doing donuts. That's what I think of now when I think of the car scene. It didn't used to be like that. You used to be able to pull up to an event and there would be people revving their motors up or whatever in there, but nobody would be, doing burnouts in a parking lot.
Yep.
There wouldn't be people, doing donuts in that parking lot. Guys would just meet up to talk cars, to argue, to then put a wager down, to go out somewhere and do something they probably shouldn't have done, on the road, drag racing. And no, we don't condone that, guys. I just want to let you know. We don't condone street racing. We don't condone car takeovers. That's what I'm trying to say. But, that's what I feel like the car scene is now. It's evolved, and it is a lot of people that want to go viral for doing extreme things. That's what I see in the car community.
Yep.
And I feel like social media has pushed us to that.
And that's a big one because we started in 21. Charlotte had a crackdown because of that.
I remember that.
80 cars got seized, and a lot of people ended up going to jail for it.
And that was my last big car scene is back in 21 when that happened. I was in a really, really, really big group out of Charlotte, and there was over 100 plus cars out at this warehouse.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving, and then that very next week, I remember crackdown happening where the police came in from different areas, different cities, different counties, and they had license plates and all the other things from people that had been doing illegal things like drag racing, because COVID also made that a thing as well. And I remember that. And so that is why I don't really go to meets like that anymore.
And that's what sucks is we started after the crackdown because we said, okay, something's got to happen. Charlotte doesn't have its own thing. We don't have, like all the car shows that come into town, they tour, right? We don't have something for our own. So that's kind of what we did. But then something that's different, social media played into a big part of it because now, like Cali always had more of the sideshow scene. Which had its own thing. But now everyone across the country has seen the sideshows and they're like, okay, I want to go out and I want to do that. And that played a big part into that. That led to the crackdown. That led to us.
Where it started for sure was Cali.
And people, but that's the thing with social media is you can see one person do it in Alaska, and now you want to do it over here in Florida.
Yep.
It's like those are two different climates and two different types of officers. So you decide to do whatever. But one big thing about that is just everything's changed. Social media's changed. People's opinion of different cars and stuff has changed. A lot of people, used to say, "Oh, that's an amazing car," and now it's just like, "Oh, it's whatever." It's not like an M3 comp. So there's like, I'm just like, well, got some character to it. But a lot of stuff has changed for sure.
Character is definitely changed in cars, and you'll probably be a testament to this of how cars were wrenched on by the owners back in the day compared to now. A lot of it has been done in shop, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just been a shift in dynamics, and maybe it's like I want to get it done correct instead of having to play around with it. Maybe I have the money now, and I watched my dad have this car for 10 years that's set compared to like now we can just go pay somebody to do it. It's just different now.
So actually, before I touch on that point, I want to come back to the original question, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
The car scene. Fellas, I got to be honest with you. I've been in this hobby a long time. And the only reason I share that is because it's my observation. You asked the question going back to 2020. My observation is that the car scene, what the hell does that even mean? What we've got is a population of loosely, at best, disjointed activities and events. There really is no, integrated car scene, quote unquote, anywhere that I've been, and certainly not in the Charlotte area. In other words, to talk about street takeover, that has nothing to do, or street racing, has nothing to do with, for example, the cars and coffee community. Or, for example, the classic car show guys or the supercar guys. You think the exotic car guys who just didn't really enjoy, kind of that higher end experience are going to be out there with the boys doing a street takeover in the middle of...
Well, hold on, because there was a Lambo that just got seized.
Okay, let me finish. That was a street racing, my understanding. I don't claim to know the details of that. I don't care. But what I will tell you is the fact that somebody with a Lamborghini was involved in street racing, listen, that's the street racing scene with exotics, big dollars. And shame on people. If you've got resources, within the Charlotte area, we've got, you guys know this, but how many tracks, round tracks, roll quarter miles, eighth miles, take it to the track. And by the way, if you're of a certain age, and then I'm going to shut up with this, if you're of a certain age, and you're out there organizing and encouraging the next generation to do stupid things, shame on you. Do better.
I do agree.
Be a man. Set an example, but that's all I got to say.
I do agree with that. There absolutely should be better examples set from people who are looked up to as leaders in the car community as well as even on social media. I absolutely agree with that.
But just one other thing, now to your point, and you asked a question about, hey, what about the difference between a guy who legit, and I know, Coven, you know how to work on cars, I'm probably the most dangerous guy you ever met with tools. You don't want me working on your cars, fellas. But in all seriousness, I went through a phase where I, bolt on exhaust, whatever, drew a camshaft, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm at a phase now, a little bit older than you fellas, but where I enjoy driving more than I enjoy wrenching.
Absolutely.
And to me, it's just a series of phases. I don't pass judgment. I do, built, not bought. My car's better. Well, no, it isn't. It's just another aspect of the hobby. Yeah. But I do respect the guys who, they know every nut and bolt in that machine. And I respect that,
That's true. That's you.
That
ain't me.
I was going to say it.
I'm probably, you got CJ here. I'm probably one step above him. And he got Coven, who's way like double our knowledge. So,
well, it's just a difference. I mean, like I said, with social media and stuff like that, it's also played a big part because now people are seeing, oh, this shop over here can do this, or this shop, and sponsorships and stuff like that is such a big thing now. Because now, there's a couple shops in the area that you're like, oh my God, they do this. Or where'd you get that done? Oh, I got this done here. And then people are like, oh, okay, it's reputable. I'll go over there. I'll get it done. And not to say that shop will always do it correctly, but more than likely they're going to do a good job. And that's kind of what they've built their model upon is, okay, we've got this car right here. They're wearing our sticker. They're wearing our brand. We can go ahead and say, all right, let's go ahead and, I want to spend some dollars with them because I don't want my car to sit. Right. Everyone knows somebody that's had their car on jack stands, had their car in the garage torn apart for 10 years. Right. Now it's like you can just go and you can just go pay for it. And, you can get it towed over there and take a couple of weeks and it's done.
Yep.
And I tell anybody, all power to you. If you've got the money for it, you go do it.
Right.
Right? If that's what you feel like is the best thing for you, go do it. I've got no issues with that.
Yep.
But to what you said earlier, it is a different level of, oh, okay, you really went and you did everything that you did. You know every inch of your car, right? Something breaks, it's because you did something you shouldn't have did, right? It's a different level than that.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, that was a good question. That was a really good question that was submitted. I think who submitted that one again?
Well, yeah,
Pearl's
Daddy.
Daddy.
You got Pearl Daddy.
I know.
Good question, Pearl's Daddy. Here we go. Question number 3. This is from Carson Baby 98. Why do people stance their cars or add a camber?
Oh, this is
It's for you.
yeah, this is definitely me being in the show realm. It's definitely a lot of people. I'll tell you, there are a lot of people that really that's their thing. It was a Japanese thing for a while, and it made it stateside in other countries, and people just like it. That's a lot of people. I wouldn't do it. I like track fitment. I like, kind of like autocross fitment. That's what I like. Flush, but I also like little trucks. I like the tucking, right?
Are you the one with the back end dropping the front end lift?
No. That's we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't claim that. I won't even lie to you. We had a show in Gastonia a couple weeks ago, and my head of security hates squatted trucks, so he told him to move from the lot, and they moved, and I was like, we don't get a lot of trucks, so I was like, why are we moving? He's like, we have to set a standard. I was like, okay, so now we'll set the standard, and but no, it's and technically it's illegal. Because
no, it's not technically. I mean, it is illegal.
It is. Well, but then that depends on the level of tilt and can they actually see, and it goes into a whole bunch of semantics. But back to the opposite of that with the stance cars, I will give them credit. There is a lot of math that does go into it. There's a lot of fitment that goes into it. Like shout out Inker, who has he's got a Z. It's a purple Z, and he probably runs the most camber I've ever seen. And he doesn't daily it, but he drives it. He drives that car a lot, and that thing scrapes on leaves. All right, and but he's done everything from engine rising. He's got a fuel cell in it, so that way he can't scrape the gas tank. There's a lot of math to it. You cannot slide $1 bill underneath his car. You cannot. It's a style thing. It is for me too. Don't worry.
I'm too tall.
But it's definitely a style thing, and but he's got it down to a science.
Imagine me getting in that. I'm 6'4". Imagine me getting down. Like, there are low cars, Hurricanes, things like that. There are low cars, but imagine me getting into a stance car and I'm driving and you pull up beside me at the light and you see me in there like this and all you see is my shoulders. And I'm 6. I can't do that.
Preston, all you got to do is fall in and roll out. But true. In all seriousness, you bring up some great points. Whether it's the camber, which I can't answer the question, but because I'm not into that, but it does bring up the point, like, what's really cool about our hobby? Diversity.
It is.
Like, I remember years ago,
absolutely,
when I was a kid, like guys who lowered their cars or had curb feelers from years back was like, oh, they ruined that car. Or to take a big truck back in the day when tall trucks were really popular and lift it. That's stupid. Why would you lift your truck? But it's that personal aspect, that personal preference, that there's room in this hobby for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And the stance thing, the camber, listen, not my kettle of fish, but I get it. And it's not for me. Yeah. I'm not into it because it's not for me. Young cats are into that. But, I do think that there's something to be said for that shock value. You got to admit, like when I go to an event and I see one of those cars, it's like, my God, it is striking.
Yep.
And that's cool. I can relate, even though I wouldn't want it. And I probably wouldn't fit in the car and I'd have trouble getting out. But in all seriousness, it's just something for another aspect of our hobby, which is cool.
Yep. And I was going to say before we move on, that's one thing that at our shows that we really kind of implement in that is like, we're for everyone, right? We're 100% for everyone.
Love it.
So whether you've got a lower truck, lifted truck, anything but Jeeps, lowered and lifted trucks.
Now wait a minute.
They don't show up. They're gonna duck you. I'm gonna walk outside in my car and there's gonna be a duck on it. We're watching you. But whether it's lowered, lifted, whatever, rallycross, we've had rally Miatas before. right? It's stuff that, I mean,
That's cool.
and North Carolina in general, we have such a diverse culture
True.
of cars. I mean, any Saturday, any Sunday, you go out, you drive out the Monroe or something, you know, on Seacrest Shortcut. I mean, you're seeing everybody.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we have a big classic scene. We have an exotic scene. We have lowriders down here, right? We have so much down here, and all I do is try to get them together and make sure they all, you know, congregate together. But realistically, we have a big scene. And to the actual original question with Stance, it's just a look thing. They really just like it.
Yeah.
And I tell them, if you like it, you go for it. It's your car,
Yeah.
right? You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, why would you do this and why would you do that?" But it's like, it's not your car, right? It's not what they envisioned. That's what they wanted to do. So just go out and do it. Now, there's a point, like swatted trucks. There is a point where it's like, that's a little unsafe.
Yeah.
But
that's for me, that's all it is for that. It's very unsafe. You can't see what's directly in front of you if you're leaning back, you know, with the steering wheel pointing
yeah,
up at 11 o'clock. So, you know, you just can't see. So I don't know. For me, I guess that's where I come from. Not out of hate for it, but just like, it's very unsafe.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want my kid, you know, my son that's 9 years old walking out and then one of those trucks come and they not see him because they're leaning so far back.
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I don't like the ideal of that.
I have seen people go as far to have front cameras that they can see in the car, in the truck. And I'm like, okay, that makes a little innovative. That's kind of cool. But to the same effect, it's like, you can't always trust a camera either.
That's true.
You know, is it wide angle? Is it not?
That's true.
But I'll tell you one thing about the stance community too, is they have something called missing the flip.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, let's say they're running -30, you're going to have a lot of tire wear at -30, right? So after a certain amount of miles, they have to flip. So they'll dismount it and remount it the other way around. So that way, you know, they don't miss the flip.
Yeah.
And if they miss the flip, well, you're on the side of the road.
Missing the flip. Fellas, who knew that statement? Like, who knew that definition? Thank you for that, Coven.
Excited, but he in this, you know, he's in the stance world. He's in there.
Oh, I understand a little bit of
understand it. Right. Like it's. I don't have an understanding of it, and I'm very similar to you. It's not really my thing. I'm not against it. It's just not my thing. I haven't got into it. Right. Like, this is just how it is. Do I find some that are very dope, cool? Absolutely, I do. But it's just, I don't understand it. I understand it enough to mod a car on a Forza or a Gran Turismo or an iRacing. I understand that to that extent, but I wouldn't see myself per se doing that. Yeah. And this is why I love the car community, because we all are different races, different genders, different interests, but we all come together for one thing, car. And so with that being said, good question from Car Scene Baby 98. Thank you for that. Okay, this question is from 1211 Car Club.
All right.
What is a build in car culture?
This is interesting.
This is a big topic.
I know this gets a lot of heat because, you know, it's a gray area. And the reality is, you know, it's subjective.
It is.
And there is no answer. So it makes it fabulous fodder for a debate and lots of trolling and abuse on social media. But, you know, listen, I put exhaust in an air cleaner and a set of rims. That's my build. Buddy, you're about to get dragged.
Yeah, that's not a build. I don't consider that a build.
That is that, and I think we would probably.
But so that probably is a build.
Yeah, and that's the problem that we have now. Is there's a lot of, and it's very subjective, but there's always a we respect all builds type of thing. And I'm like, I get it, we understand it, but there's a point of, is it a build or is that just OEM plus? But now OEM plus is a build. So then it's like, okay, well, what defines a build anymore as?
So the thing is, look, I'm a car guy. If I'm going to sit here and waste my time debating semantics, it's like, dudes, chill out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not talking to you guys, I'm talking in general. Like, right, guys, but to me, this is just like, it's an offshoot of social media fodder. But some of the things we used to debate long before social media, sitting around the lunch table in high school, like, you know, Camaros versus Mustang or whatever the hell it was. But this is just that kind of an extension of our community where car guys love to debate these things and talk shit. Don't we like that? But, you know, listen, your guy goes deep into his engine, transmission rear end.
Mhm.
You know, he got a wiring harness in there. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah, now we're talking a build.
But aesthetics though, aesthetics. You can't leave out a car build and not think about aesthetics.
Yeah.
Like, can I add an arrow kit on? Is that then a build?
Because then you have
Right.
show builds. So you have, because you'll have performance builds,
Listen, all
and you've
good
got show builds. Show builds, and a lot of people will just toss in some performance stuff that they
Mhm.
realistically won't matter. Especially when you're putting traction down to a 19-inch rim on like a 205, 15 or whatever. Because I don't know what you're putting down then. But at that point,
Look at him getting all mechanic and shit.
I'm just saying.
Yo, why are you showing off again? Stop.
But realistically, like there's show builds, right? Like a slammed enough build or import face off or something like that, right?
I got a question then. Is it a build if I put a cold air intake and an exhaust on my car? Is that a build?
I would say no.
Why?
I would say no because that's something that it doesn't really separate you from the same person that bought the same parts.
Is that a build to you?
I do not see that as a build. I say you gotta open up the engine to make it a build. We gotta start replacing engine components, okay? And we gotta go more than just engine peripherals.
So,
So-
if I flash my ECU,
No, absolutely not. You a computer nerd if you do that.
If I don't have a pop and bang tune, I don't have a. I'm not a build.
Sound like a Glock right now.
oh man,
But I'll tell you, a lot of people will be on some, oh, well, I got that stage 2 downpipe and tune. I'll tell you, we had one show earlier this year in the springtime where I can kid you not, I couldn't count on my hands how many people in their mods had, oh, well, I've got a stage 2, tune and a downpipe. And I'm like,
that's not.
and it's a and it'll be a BMW
That's
or
every
something
BMW.
German. But that's the
every
point.
BMW.
Is why
True.
Jeez. When you okay, get out the car. You at the mall. You got the car. You turn around. Oh, M3. You don't even got it. You call it before you M4. Oh, look, M4.
No offense, BMW.
Yeah, no
guys.
offense,
He's
BMW.
right.
But
He's right.
That's literally how it goes. New Toyota Supra. That's all you hear is I'm gonna put the blurble tune on max. And you're like, what? But why? Like, I get it. It's cool for the first hour, but like, what's the point of it?
But then that's my problem too. Is like if you daily this car, right? You're comfortable with everywhere you go. This is the statement that you make, right? You're pulling up to a job interview and they hear you coming down the street.
Yes.
That's like
Parking in the parking deck at work.
Yep.
That's a real example.
Does he have reliable transportation?
Right.
No. Like,
Tell you what, fellas, and I think you'll agree. You go to certain events. If you want to know if you have a build, I'll make it easy for you. Go to a lot of car events, and when you see Buddy open up the hood and everybody says, "Oh shit," like a build when you see it.
Okay, but people don't do that for Teslas. But there are builds out there for electric vehicles.
When you got to call an electrician to upgrade your car, build.
But I'll say
It's
like
home improvement.
like there's a really good build in the Charlotte area alone. Shout out Eli Berry with his Tesla. He also has a Civic. He's been doing this for a while. He's got a shaved handle Honda Civic. That awesome car. But he has a Tesla. And I mean, it is a beautiful looking car. He's got it lowered.
What kind of Tesla is it? The Plaid?
I don't believe it's a
Is it
Plaid.
car or
It's a
is it
performance. It's the not the S. It's the
It's a little 3.
3.
Model 3.
I think it's the Model 3.
It's a cyber truck.
It is a Model 3. Oh, not a Cybertruck.
The brick would have been.
RoboCop.
I'll tell you, we were at Max Speed Shop. I'm gonna get back to that, but we were at Max Speed Shop, and someone looked out. Someone looked out, and they thought it was an actual dumpster because they couldn't see it behind another truck.
The Cybertruck?
Yeah, and then they
just dogging it.
and they said, "No, I'm just saying." And they said, "Oh, I understand why they call them dumpsters now because I really thought it was a dumpster because all I saw was the front end of it."
Shout out to Elon, bro.
Yeah. No, we're just kidding.
We
We just
like the
playing.
Cybertruck, actually.
Yeah, we playing. Please.
But he thought it was.
But he did think it was a dumpster. But I will tell you that like his Tesla, he has a so it's on air.
Okay.
And in the front, he has his air set up, and there's a ring around it that goes that it's Tony Stark's heart. So he has a whole Iron Man build.
So yeah, Tony Stark was cool. He didn't drive no Tesla.
Oh Lord!
Come on, we gotta stop.
Was it Tesla red?
It is. It's red and it's got gold wheels. It actually is pretty good. It looks really nice. or what does it say? It's like here lies Tony Stark's heart.
Man.
He went, but
All the way.
it's well done.
Yeah.
It's a well done car. Which for Teslas is not, I won't say is not the case. There's definitely a couple other Tesla builds around. But then that kind of negates the point of, okay, well then if they, if there's no performance aspect to it, right? Is it a build? And then that's when it's like, okay, this is a show build, right? A good example is lowriders, right? You can go to a lot of indoor shows or outdoor shows, and you can see some lowriders that have a lot of stuff done to them.
Yeah, I do agree.
Right?
Yeah.
But everything's engraved on the car. Is the car a trailer queen or not? Right? But then that's a strict show build.
Even a trailer queen is still a build, though.
Yeah, and yep, and I'm with you on that. But even in that same aspect, it's that work is done. Everything is engraved. They've got the mirrors on the ground, so you can see everything's engraved. The fuel tank is engraved, right? That's a distinct show build, because they put the work and put the effort into it. And for me, a build is definitely something that if you put the work and effort into it, not just Googling, okay, let me get a catback for this and let me get a cold air intake,
Well, what about if I change my dome lights? If I make them yellow to the white?
To me, look, I got a car and I did some mods.
Yeah.
It's modded. But dude, like, you're just setting yourself up in the car community. Unfortunately, it is what it is. The minute you start talking about your build, just be ready. Be ready for the heat. Like, because if you've just got a few mods, there's probably going to be some obnoxious people in the community. That's not a build.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, leave the man alone.
This has been the debate since cars started.
Truth.
That's right.
And it will always be the debate going for long after we're gone. This is always a debate.
Fun stuff.
So, all right, that was a really good question. Really, really good question. There's no answer to that. Shout out to 1211 Car Club for that question. All right, next one we got is from Hemp Cuz.
Hemp Cuz? He's smoking green.
What is the difference between a car meet and a car show?
Okay, I can answer this one.
All right.
I tell a lot of people that, for example, we do both. We do shows and we do meets.
Okay.
Right. Next week we have a meet going on. It's our 5th year anniversary of our first show. A show, that's when now you're talking paid registration, you're talking coming on out, you're seeing the best of the best, you're seeing maybe cars trailered, or you're seeing maybe cars, that you've never seen before because they just made it out the garage, right? That's when show builds come into it, right? Is, okay, this is a show build, this came out for the show. There's a lot of good show builds in the area. You're not going to usually see them at meets because they're not there. I've had a lot of people actually say, well, if there's no awards, I'm not going to bring the car. Right?
Don't get me started.
And that's something too. And don't get me wrong.
I've heard that, though.
I get it. What does that say about, how you do what you do? That's a little weird because you have to feel like you need an award to show up. For example, we actually had a guy not too long ago in one of our last summer events who didn't think he wanted to know before he came if he was going to win an award. That or he wasn't coming. And I told him,
it's common.
Before he came. Yep. He wanted to know what categories we had and submitted pictures. And he was like, I want to know if I'm going to win. Because
before I try out for the football team, I want to know if I make it. Yeah. This is my height. This is my weight. Yeah. And these are my videos from before.
He was dead serious. And I said, because he had $400 skirts that he was just putting on. And he didn't want to make the drive from Gastonia. Right. So if he sees this, he know who he is. And I said, at that point, you might just not want to come, man.
So here's the thing. I've dealt with this as well for many years. And it comes down to this. You ready? For me, I'm not into trophies. I'm into cars.
Mm-hmm.
And some guy, like, how many dust collectors you want in your garage? Like, and I'm not nothing for nothing. I'll be honest and blunt. That's the way I roll. Like,
that's why
I've won trophies. I never pick them up. I'm not there for that. When people say, CJ, no, I don't care about that. I'm here to look at other cars. I'm not here for some ego trip, show off my car. Look at my trophy. It's bigger than your trophy.
Yep.
But in all seriousness, I think you nailed the definition just right. Car meets versus car show.
I do too.
And this goes back to years ago, the boomer generation with the cruise night. In all seriousness, right? It was cruise night.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't use that term as much anymore, but just a bunch of cats showing up, drinking coffee, grabbing a burger. No formalities, no registration.
Yep.
Coven's right. No show, no awards, none of that formality. And now we got Cars and Coffee, which is such a pervasive thing. The Cars and Coffee type me, but the car show, a whole other kettle of fish.
Yep.
Now you got the politics and the awards
and the judging. The judging is such
BS.
And people don't understand. We were at another event not too long ago too, and I saw that they were doing community judging. So they had everyone walk around with sheets.
So I had to do that at a show.
And I told them, I said, that looks like that's gonna be rough for you. That's exactly what I said. And they were over there for probably an hour and a half getting all of these sheets together because they had, 60 plus sheets, trying to figure out, okay, well, they've got number car 3 for best in show, and they've got 4, and I'm like, this is where community voting will get you, right? But it's the same thing for you, right? When it comes to meets and stuff, it's just people just used to get together.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, nowadays you have a flyer, you used to not have a flyer. You just used to hear word of mouth. Hey, this is going on. Let's cruise over here. And you get a lot of people together. And social media kind of made that, to be fair, better and worse.
Get the word out.
Mm-hmm. Because now all you have to do is, have a flyer and post it, and, a couple people repost it. And now you have, hundreds of people showing up. And it's super easy, easier than it was, unfortunately. But then that goes into, okay, well, with the meets, who's running it? How is it going to be ran?
True.
How do they feel about this happening, right? I tell a lot of people, it's not about what happens. It's about how you deal with it, right?
That's life.
At a show, people know you can't do dumb stuff at a show because it's a show. But at a meet, that's when people just come out because, it's easily accessible from the road, or you can easily do this and you can do whatever.
I just got my car at the shop and it's been there for 3 months. I'm going to show you what they do in the parking lot.
And people will do it. But it's how you respond to them.
Here's the one thing. I will agree with that, but if I may, Kovin, I'll add something to that.
Okay.
As an event organizer, even a car meet, informal,
mm-hmm.
a lot of guys will not do their due diligence and their duty of basic controls. And people ask me all the time, year in, year out, CJ, get involved, help me out with this. And I say no more often than not because I'm a jerk. Everybody knows peace, love, and happiness from your buddy CJ. But in all seriousness, are you doing it right? Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
You hiring law enforcement? Oh, we're not going to invite 12. Listen, do it right.
Yep.
Have an event that's reasonably safe, well organized. Did you get approval from the landlord for the property? Do you have insurance? Oh, CJ, what do you mean? We don't need insurance. This is probably the end of our conversation because no, you're not doing it right. So these pop-up car meets where you just show up, oh man, listen, we can do what we want. It's a public parking lot. Actually, it's not. It's private property.
Yep.
Do you have any brain cells, cuz? I'm trying to help you out.
Have you ever heard of Polaris 3G? Like, that's the thing I ask people. I'm like, Polaris 3G, if you're in the Met County area, it shows you who owns all of the land of whatever. And so
I've not heard
yep.
that.
And they show you who owns. So, like, if you own a house in Mecklenburg County, you can see you're on the deed. It'll show you everything. And I tell people, look it up. It takes a lot of effort and time. Polaris 3G. Polaris, like
that's a gem, y'all.
Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, if you're trying to figure out, if your ex baby mama owns that land, you can figure that out right then and there, right? You can figure out where her nearest. Look, where's their fire department? Where's their police department? It tells you a lot. It tells you how much you own, and in monetary value and stuff like that. But that'll tell you who the landlord is. So then the first thing I ask is, okay, well, where is it happening, right? Before I repost anything, I ask them, if I see 300 Camp Road or T-Fusion, that's the older style for those of you that might know it, 1801 North Tryon, right? Those are blacklisted for me because they've been burnt out so many times, and cops have came for majority of the last couple times that people had stuff. I've seen more helicopters at 1801 North Tryon than I have in my entire life. So with spotlights on. So the real problem is I ask people, I'm like, okay, who'd you clear it by? Oh, I cleared it by the Steak and Shake. Okay, well, did you clear it by the landlord?
There you go.
Because does Steak and Shake own it? Right? That's a big thing. For example, oh, we're going to go out to Walmart. We're going to do this. Walmart is not going to want you there. And I will tell you that for a fact because we've had overflow parking lots running to Walmarts and they do not like that.
Stay out the Wally, people.
Absolutely.
But then that's the second thing. And it's like, okay, well, if that area, right? Okay, well, do I think they need cops? Did you tell the police, right? Even if you don't want law enforcement there,
That's the big.
did you tell them that
Right.
you'd be there,
Right.
right? Because even if you tell them, that's going an extra step. Okay, so now they kind of know, okay, we can kind of hang out in the area a little bit.
Yes.
So that way we can kind of know, okay, what's going on. And I'll tell you anything, cops just being in the area is free security. Because if people think cops are there, they're not gonna do anything.
Let's hope.
We paid $47 an hour for two officers in Gastonia, because we did it at East Ridge Mall not too long ago. Why do we pay for officers? Not because they asked us the mall asked us to pay for officers, because we didn't want anything to happen to that lot.
God bless you.
And just
That's good.
having the cops over there with their lights on deters all of that.
True.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people, you have to make sure you do your due diligence.
True.
Well, to touch on that, then this is gonna go into the next question. Appreciate you, him, cuz 223. So, too much swag. Said, what are some car scene etiquette rules? So this flows right into that question.
This is every flyer that is posted every time I see a flyer. No hooning, no revving, and don't attract attention. I see that. I usually see the third one every once in a while. And no drama. I see no drama too. But, which will always be drama. But I will tell you, don't rev your car for an excessive amount of time, right? If you're pulling in and you're revving, or you're pulling out and revving, it's a little okay, depending on how loud your car is. If you know for a fact you sound like, a 12 gauge, I don't know why you would do that. Because there are kids around. And people still run for that sort of stuff. So it's like, that's proper etiquette there.
I've been uptown. I heard somebody rev, and I'll turn around, right? Because you think a gunshot. Yeah. And you just turn around and you look and you see the car, right?
And it's just
you see the BMW coming by.
Yep. Or a Z. It'll be like a Z. It'll be a 350 or 370 with a Tomei on the back, and it sounds like World War III is going on. And all they're doing is actually just cruising and driving, and that's the way that they have it. But don't do any of that stuff. Another thing not to do, please, for the love of God, don't do any burnouts. Don't do anything dumb. Because now,
number one.
Huh?
I feel like that's rule.
It's rule number one, 100%. But not a lot of people understand that, right? And that's where the no hooning goes into it. Which, if you're not familiar with hooning, it's basically in terms of just what hoonigan was, in terms of Ken Block. No drifting. Don't do burnouts. Don't do any crazy stunts. Don't do anything like that, right? It all just got categories. There's a lot of wannabe Ken Blocks
on curbs, jumping curbs,
or hitting light poles. Be the only light pole in the whole entire parking lot, and yet we somehow hit it. Yep. So
unfortunately, and by the way, I agree with everything Kovin just said. Unfortunately, I think the issue with everything you just said is that a lot of the cats in our hobby, and I hate to say this, but it's got to be said, they got more horsepower than brains. Mm-hmm. And no common sense to do the right thing. But in all seriousness, let me give you a different take. Number one, fellas, my rule for car meets and going to events. Back your car in. You guys nose in your car and stay home. You're missing the point. You got to back it in. Number two, don't you ever, fellas, I'm talking to you. Don't you ever wear a shirt that matches your car. That's corny. Are we going to make funny? I am. But anyway, come on now.
Fashion statement. Oh, big fashion statements over here. I can agree. I will agree with the first one. The second one, might be.
Are you that guy?
No. I will tell you.
On accident.
I matched my on accident. Yeah. Look, I didn't bring my Miata, so I don't match today. So it works out. But I'll tell you, it's. A lot of people, to what you said, and like I said, I half agree with what you just said. When it comes down to, and also you can tell someone's here to win trophies if they're matching their car. I would tell you that if they, if you come into an event, and I will tell you, not a lot of people knows in, because everyone kind of realizes what the point is, especially with the stuff I do, right? Everyone knows, or we even set it up to. The way you pull in. There's only one way you can pull in, right? We set these rows up nice and neat. A lot of people think I'm OCD. I'm not OCD. It's how it looks. It's the presentation of it. And if you want your car to be seen, if you want your car in some fire pictures, and you want your stuff to be right, do not nose in for everything that is holy. Please don't nose in. But it's just a lot of people do not understand, or as you said, they have high horsepower but no brains. It's very weird.
It's, gives our hobby a bad name. You know what else gives our hobby the bad name? Don't be bringing out them boomer boards with a description, a poster of your car. Ain't nobody gonna read it.
Bro, nobody gonna read that. The long list of mods and who purchased the car when and who owned. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I don't read it. Yes, please leave it at home.
This is a 101. All right. It was made on a Thursday.
That's right.
Jalen don't touch this car.
Oh, Lord.
I'm like, okay.
The guy that made its name was Eugene Krause. Right? It's like
SpongeBob bet on put a bid on this car. I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
SpongeBob put a bill.
All right.
Boomer
Yeah.
boards.
All right.
Steven Spielberg once walked past this car.
Right.
Like what are we doing?
We gotta laugh. It's a lot of, it comes from a lot of love. Yeah, we're all in this hobby, but you gotta laugh.
All right.
There's a lot to laugh at.
Yeah.
We laugh at ourselves as car guys.
We do. I got one more. Arnold Schwarzenegger farted beside this car.
Like, why do we need to know that?
Exactly.
Like what's the point? Like,
right.
mhm.
Oh, good Lord.
Left his trail.
Yep.
Said, I'll be back.
This car's been rear-ended twice, but repaired twice. Like, why? Then we're starting to lift off really weird facts about nothing that's related to the car.
They do.
Super.
We do.
Mm-hmm. I bought this after my wife divorced me. I'm like, whoa, we don't need to know that.
Right. Hey guys, we love y'all.
Yeah. If you put a board outside, it's great. It goes, it's display points for us actually.
We gotta make fun of you, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, I got a good question here. What modern car right now do you believe is the most talked about? And this question came from MJMK96. Apologies. What modern car right now do you believe is the most talked about across the automotive and car scene, and why?
That's easy. Right now, and it changes almost day to day, month to month.
I'm waiting on this one.
Right now, it's self-evident. There is no other answer.
Okay.
The C8, ZR1, and ZR1S. There can be no other answer. What the hell are you going to talk about? The Tesla? Like right now, everyone's on that, and it's an interesting topic. But
you don't want a full self-drive?
Who?
A full self-drive Tesla? You don't want a FSD?
No, man. Part of our hobby is enjoying driving it. Listen, I go to Disney World if I want to ride a ride. I want to drive me.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord. That's a good one though. I like that. That's a good one.
But what do you got?
Hey, that's gonna make some comments.
Come on. That's going much love. If you plug your car in and listen.
Hold on, all right, start slow because I plugged
wait
mine
a minute.
Start slow.
I'm gonna get thrown out. Lord. But he got a cool Lightning. I like the Lightning. It's got a cool badge on.
Cool badge. That's the only thing.
It's got a cool badge.
It's like the old days, just like the Lightning.
It's not like the.
I raced the 911 Turbo S the other day to some guy, like, and this is a true story. Like,
on a track in Mexico.
Yeah. No, I was on the track. True story. This guy pulled up beside me on the track, and we're at the stop. We're at the light for the track, and the guy kind of takes off slow. I take off slow, and I hit the gas. He hit the gas, and he slowly pulls away from me. Then he just leaves, and we go pull it to the next light. He was like, "Man, that's a fast truck." I'm like, "Bro, all these electric vehicles are like this." He said, "I had no clue that truck was that fast." I'm like, "Bro, you actually you ran away from me. Like, your car is fast." He was like, "But I didn't expect you to be that fast." So it's like people don't really understand, like, these EVs out here are very quick. You have instant torque, and they're keeping up. The first 30 miles per hour, we're keeping up with whatever vehicle's out there. Yeah. And then after that, I mean, you're probably gone. But
since we're talking about this, can I just sidetrack you for a second? And by the way, I'm no EV hater. I love tech. The G-Whiz factor. I've driven a lot of EVs. Friends have them.
I know where it's going.
Listen, what does the car miss for me? The only thing is the
soul of it.
The soul, my man. I got to hear it. I got to feel it.
But Dodge fixed that.
No, that's right. It's got a piezo electric. It's got an MP3 player.
No.
But listen, last thing I'll say.
MP3 player.
Your buddy CJ.
It's got an 8-track player in the back.
My goal with all these cars is to burn my own personal hole in the ozone layer before I'm gone with all the exhaust.
And your wallet. And burn a hole in your wallet. With gas prices, with the way gas prices.
No hate to EVs. It's just a different thing.
Yeah.
I don't own one. I've driven a bunch, but anyway, yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. Like I was actually saying, and going back to that Tesla we talked about earlier, as a show car, not not bad, because some of them don't look bad at all, right? They look pretty decent. And that kind of gives it some type of soul, is the look of the car. But of course, driving wise, I mean, like you said, if you wanted to go to Disney, if you wanted to take a ride, you go to Disney World, right? You go to Carowinds.
But what do you think about the ZR1? Then the new one.
I think it's awesome, man. I really do
you
think it's
the
awesome.
most talked about car in the automotive world right now?
Right now, because
Well,
of
what do
course,
you think?
like you said, it changes daily.
True.
And it's also in what you look at, what you're interested in.
I was gonna say that too. A lot of the Japanese guys, a lot of the Euro guys. Like if you're in the Euro stuff, you're more than likely you're looking at BMW M's
Burble
and what
tunes.
they're doing. Yeah, and burble tunes and Googling. My car won't stop burbling. What does that mean? But it's
Your spark plugs are.
but if you're in the American scene, right? The ZR1 is really big right now. But what's also big is where Dodge is going. I feel like that's super big too. Them phasing away from the fact that the EV charger didn't really work out that well, and they're sitting on lots right now for $40,000 under MSRP. How they're looking right now,
I actually liked it.
I think the body stone.
I drove it. I physically drove it. I seen the car before it came out. I was at the factory. I seen it in a prototype phase stage to where it was a body just sitting there. And I watched them create this car. I seen the carvings of the car. And to see it from there to an actual vehicle now is the coolest thing to me. And driving it, I literally enjoyed that car. And the speaker was very gimmicky until I got in the car. And then I enjoyed it. It literally gave the car soul, even though people can say it's gimmicky. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But I drove it. And that was an experience for me. So I am a complete opposite of a lot of these other people out here. I thought it was a good car.
I was gonna say, I'm not saying it wasn't a bad car. According to the analytics and the sales,
Right.
Was it a failure, quote unquote? But I thought the body style was really good. And I tell people, I think it was the closest right now that we've ever had to the original Charger, because it literally looks like a muscle car.
Good lines.
The problem that they had was coming out with the EV model first, and it definitely killed the EV factor and the cool factor of the car, even though we were up in Winston earlier this year at their Cars and Coffee when Bowman Gray was started back with NASCAR, the Cup Series. I thought it looked good. I thought it looked really good. But the EV factor was the only weird part. From outside the car, I could definitely think, yeah, it was gimmicky.
So-
From inside the car, I couldn't tell you.
Here's the thing, and I would agree with everything you fellas said. And by the way, having driven a couple of i8s, the i8 has that computer-generated sound, right? And I'll tell you what, it's a cool little sound. It was it's a whole different vibe when you're driving it. It was like the Jetsons, like I'm driving a spaceship, And yeah, I know it's a computer-generated, quote-unquote exhaust note, but it was kind of cool. It was just like this. You mentioned Tony Stark. It's like this high-tech, cool vibe. But coming back to it, that Dodge EV, I agree with you on the lines and everything. But I say to myself, when I look at that car, and I don't care what the YouTube reviewers say, I'm like, who is this car for, Stellantis? What are you thinking? The guys who want a car that looks like that, they want a Hemi.
Yep.
They want a Cat. They, and it actually offends them. It pisses them off that you took away their Hemi. Now they're bringing it back.
They're bringing the Hemi back.
At what cost? What damage has Stellantis done to their brand? Bring them back, guys. I'm excited about it, but yeah, that car is going to go down as a footnote.
Now, what I will say is the CEO of Stellantis right now. He did
over though. The Tavares that was CEO got fired, and they got a new CEO now. So they have a new CEO.
Well, I was gonna say what was this last? You know what I'm saying?
So the last one that got fired?
No, the guy that's here now.
The new one? I don't know. I don't know if Tim took it over. Kaniskis. I don't know if he
Yes,
took it over.
that's what I'm talking about, though. I believe.
Yeah.
And he was like,
he used to be Dodge's CEO, but now he's in an elevated position. He
Okay.
left, and then they brought him back to Ram, and then they elevated him again to I don't know what he is.
Okay. I think we're talking about the same person. That works out for me. I'll tell you that I think he came out and said this was not a good direction that we shouldn't have taken.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot for especially a company to come out and say we messed up. Of course, they're bringing the Hemi back.
In the trucks.
in the trucks.
Yep. Because they're going to use that I-6.
They're going to use the
Bring it
Hurricane.
back in the cars too.
Yeah.
That's the rumor. Listen,
I don't believe rumors until it happened. That's the thing about
it's happening. Trust me. Put it that your buddy CJ said it. Put it in the bag. They're bringing back the Hemi.
I hope
the
he's
car.
right, because that's what they need. I hope he's right.
I hope I'm right too, and I could be wrong. But in all seriousness, guys, and listen, that's one of the fantastic. This is what we do. We talk about cars. It gets crazy.
It is.
But listen, Stellantis has made so many damn mistakes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What a sin. What does Chrysler even make today, fellas? They got a minivan.
They got the Pacifica.
Yeah, that's the
They got a nerd family.
Hold on. The Pacifica plug-in hybrid, man. That's
well, they make all of them. They make the plug-in hybrid.
Mhm.
They make the gas power one.
Yep.
And I am pretty sure I heard that they were going to make an EV version of it.
Oh, that's gonna go great in the manufacturers. It's gonna be great in the dealerships.
But
shout out to my Chrysler techs because I couldn't do it.
let me say one thing though about this charger. So the EV charger, and I said this since day one, and I'm gonna continue to feel this way, and I hope that somebody hear me that can make a difference. This thing was marketed to the wrong crowd. They marketed this EV charger to V8 Hemi guys, supercharger, 6.2, 6.4 liter guys. This should have been marketed to a different crowd, and there should have been a vehicle made for those big horsepower guys. They should have dropped the EV at the same time as that i6, so you can at least give them an option if they didn't want the EV. The Charger would have been successful if you would have marketed to the right crowd, because I was one of those people who would have bought one. I have a friend who owns a 1,000+ horsepower Hellcat, and he bought the EV Charger because he was interested in it. So it was just marketed the wrong way. That car could have been successful.
Now I'll tell you, do you think they can turn it around with the late arrival of the i6?
And they get it wrong. Some things you can't come back from, and I personally feel like they just did it wrong.
You think they should have did it exactly at the same time?
I think it should have been at exactly the same time, or the i6, and then halfway through the year, that EV should have came.
Now I'll tell you this, right? Because the 4-door isn't out yet.
Nope. You see the video that just surfaced of the 2-door Charger
With the i6?
Yeah.
Yep, in Detroit. I saw that. I think, and that's the problem, is I think that sounds actually not bad.
Oh man, no.
No, you think it sounds bad?
It sounds bad.
Now I think it's definitely not the V8.
I've owned 3 Hellcats. I think that sounds
Yeah, so I was gonna say it's definitely not what Dodge is known for. It's definitely a different sound, but compared to the previous sound that Charger had,
that's fair.
It's way better, and it's to hear a note. And of course, people, once the community gets their hands on the car, it could greatly improve. It's gonna take a while, but it could improve. I think that
you can make 1,000 horsepower out of it. The Demonology did it.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we got it.
I did it already, but I lost my train of thought.
I was gonna say, but do you think? I won't say do you think they can come back, but do you think that there's a possibility they can turn it around?
Oh, I don't think that this is gonna be very unpopular, but I'm not gonna say I don't think. But here's a question I keep asking myself: can you have a V6 muscle car?
Well, listen, the answer to that is 100% yes. But let me just come back to this, and I'll give you examples. And there's only one great example that'll just defeat this argument every time.
Yeah.
We know what it is, fellas. The Grand National.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
End of story. Yes, there's V6 muscle cars. But now, in the modern era, another discussion. Listen, I just want to say this about Dodge and Stellantis, and it's a fascinating business case. Dodge had one of the last great brands in muscle car performance, and they blew it. They bent the knee. They went all EV. They retired the Hemi, and I get it with global trends and regulation. Listen, I get all that, but they went all in on it, and now they're trying to come back from it. And as a car guy, I'm rooting for them. But how do you give up the ghost on one of the greatest, strongest? You just mentioned you had how many Hellcats? Guys love the Scats, the SRTs. I've had them, and you gave it up. Now you're trying to bring it back. What the hell is wrong with you? But anyway, it's going to be for a fascinating business case in a few years to talk about that. Big mistake, Dodge. But anyway.
But they're coming back to NASCAR, though. Guys.
True. I mean, I think that's a good first step to bring that image back. I'm a big Dodge guy, and I always will be a big Dodge guy. And I'm rooting for them as well because I love their muscle cars, right? And I've been a big Dodge guy since I was able to, get in the Scat Pack. I actually got into the Dodges. I did a review on a Scat Pack, And I instantly clicked with Dodge at that point. And I remember doing that review. I came back literally the next week from doing that review, and I bought that Scat Pack. Funny story is, the one I reviewed, after I reviewed it, sold the very next day to a guy that was like 2 hours away. And the salesman was telling me the story. They brought the Scat Pack back because the guy 2 days later had a cosigner, and his cosigner said that he didn't want to cosign for the vehicle after they took it to him. So they had to go back and get this new vehicle back that they delivered to a customer. And so they called me and said, hey, this Scat Pack is still here if you're interested in it, because I was like, man, I wish I would have bought it. It came back, and I felt like it was destiny at that point. So that is where I got my like first step into Dodge. And I went back to the dealership and I bought that Scat Pack. And then after that was history. People know my story from there. The Scat Pack, working with Dodge, where that took me. So, and I have nothing but great things to say about Dodge, but when it comes to this EV, it was marketed wrong. It could have been successful. It really could have been. All right. With that being said, that was the question from MJM K96. And I'm going to just ask this last question as we go out the door. This is going to be our very last question. Let's try to keep this response to under 60 seconds. All right.
That's hard for me, Preston.
I know it is.
You can't shut up.
All right, let's keep this under 60 seconds. This next question is just something I've been thinking about. Do you think there is a world where EVs overtake the sale of ICE vehicles? Or do you think there will never be a world where that happens? Keep the answer under 60 seconds.
Realistically, from how many people there are from the community and how many people there are in real life, if all the companies, like they all said they were going to do anyway, but they all reneged, most of them have reneged on it. If they decided, hey, we want to go ahead and all we're selling now is EVs, yes, it's very possible. But we'll still have soul in our community to where we don't want one, or most people won't want one. So that's my answer to that one.
Good stuff, man. And the answer is absolutely not. EV is not the solution, and I'm not a hater, but the practicality is limited to a fraction of a subset of drivers. I'm not talking about car guys. I'm talking about the public that needs automotive transportation and a car. It's not going to work globally. It's not going to work in the United States. So it will always be 10%, maybe 15%, 20%. And it's not to say it can't continue to grow, but it will never. Write it down, take it to the bank. I'll say it again. EV will never overtake. Not in our lifetime. Hybrid's probably a bit more practical and reasonable. But listen, really cool. To see what we've seen in our lifetime with EV is really cool and innovative. But gee whiz, it's just not for everyone.
Okay. And I love this show because there are different perspectives here, and I'm on the other spectrum of that. I think that EVs will eventually make up over 50% of car sales at one point, because when you look at the steam engine, they probably said the same exact thing. And then you had your ICE engines that came after that, right? Then you have your diesel motors, and when they created ICE vehicles, that's going to be the end of end. Then you had diesel motors that were developed, and then it was, okay, so now we got ICE and we got diesel motors. And so I think eventually what's going to happen is EVs are going to overtake ICE motors being sold, because there will be innovation, and innovation is going to make battery packs smaller but more efficient. So I do believe that there will be a time where we see 1,000-mile range with 5-minute charges on EVs, and that is going to be the future of where we're at. So guys, CJ, Kovin, I appreciate y'all for coming to the podcast. This is our very first episode here. Fans, without y'all, we couldn't have done this today. This is a podcast for the people, by the people. Thank you guys for coming to watch. My name is Preston, the host of Street Car Talk. And I also run AutoNatics, the podcast. So guys, if you want to see more, if you want to submit your questions, Street Cars 101, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Reddit. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Temu. So wherever you want to find us at, you come and find us and you submit your questions, because this is a show for you guys. You know what? Thank you for watching this. We out. Appreciate you all.
Later.